Okey, Assalamualaikum. Kita akan mula dalam masa seminit, 2 minit lagi. Ya, about 2 minutes more lah now. 10, yang ada di sini 10:28. Jadi sebelum kita mula secara official, saya hanya nak make sure semua orang presenter berada, dah ready, dah standby. Kita hari ini ada tiga di tiga tempat di mana kita akan bergerak dekat tiga tempat. Yang pertama adalah daripada Politeknik Ibrahim Sultan, PIS. Ya. Di sana kita ada dua orang yang akan memberi presentation, iaitu Puan Azila dan juga Puan Nora. So, just say hi, wave your hand. Are you ready? Alright, thank you very much. Okay, lepas tu kita the next session is Cik Muhammad Azhiruddin yang akan daripada Politeknik Perkongsian. Are you with us? Okay. Ada angkat tangan? Okey, angkat tangan. Thank you. Dan kita ke Kuantan, Polisas. Mana tim Polisas untuk dia? Tim Polisas gelap ya. Hari ini tim Polisas gelap. Jadi kita nak, okey, nampak rangka dia orang pun akan share. So itulah dia, situ saya anggap itu sebagai lambaian lah kot. Dua shot tadi yang dia telah beri pada kita. So itulah dia. Okey, 10:30, so we will begin. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Terima kasih kerana bersama kami dalam webinar JPPKK. Dan kita tengok ini adalah webinar siri kedua yang kita adakan, siri pertama yang kita adakan pada tahun 2021. Dan ini adalah track pertama PdPDT dan hari ini bermulalah track pertama. Dan episod yang tuan-tuan puan akan tengok adalah episod kedua, yang mana tadi kita dah berbicara dengan Cik Chua untuk kita belajar atau mengenai dengan survival kit. Jadi apakah yang perlu ada di dalam perancangan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan untuk you all sebagai PdPDT, pensyarah-pensyarah PdPDT belajar menggunakan pakai teknologi, psikologi dan sebagainya untuk mengatasi sebarang masalah dan cabaran. Okay. So pada kali ini untuk episod kedua ni kita akan melihat pensyarah-pensyarah daripada Politeknik untuk Politeknik pula. Untuk mereka berkongsi pendapat, best practices, amalan-amalan terbaik, reka-cipta yang inovatif untuk PDP. Ya. Jadi kita seperti mana yang saya kata tadi, kita ada tiga tempat yang mana kita akan pergi melawat. Yang pertama, sesi pertama adalah daripada PIS, sesi kedua adalah PPD dan yang ketiga kita ke Polisas. Elok juga saya beritahu sedikit mengenai dengan persediaan untuk webinar ini. Pastikan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan bila masuk tadi menggunakan nama yang sebenar, jangan bukan nama samaran. Kerana nama itu akan dicetak di atas sijil yang mana you akan dapat nanti, dan sijil ini boleh digunakan pakai untuk kehadiran bengkel. Dan juga perlu tahu bahawa Webex, algoritma Webex mengira kehadiran dengan cara dia tersendiri. Kita pastikan you berada di depan peranti tadi sekurang-kurangnya lebih daripada 50 minutes. Kalau dia 1 hour punya, lebih daripada 50 minutes. And then peratus tumpuan you mestilah simplify to 80 minutes. Bermaksud janganlah pada masa yang sama you guna peranti yang sama untuk buat kerja-kerja lain, untuk buat WhatsApp ke, untuk Words ke dan sebagainya. Webex akan detect application lain dibuka dan dianggap sebagai tidak you're not paying attention. So dan bila itu berlaku maka peratus you akan kurang dan dia automatically tidak akan keluarkan CJ. Jadi dua perkara ini penting. Spend time as much as possible melihat dan juga jangan guna pakai peranti whatever devices yang kita tengok webinar ini untuk multitasking, ya, untuk buat kerja-kerja yang lain. Okey, jangan tidak melengahkan masa, saya nak perkenalkan kita punya first pair daripada PIS, Puan Nur Azila binti Abdul Manan dan juga Puan Nora binti Syahri yang akan share with us semua tools ataupun beberapa tools yang I think they use seperti Wakelet, Flipgrid, Google Slide, Pear Deck untuk collaborative learning dan juga Padlet untuk build language learning confidence. Jadi yang kedua ni adalah more I think on English ya. Yang pertama ni it is more on it may be for language as well. So kita tengok dan seperti biasa kita I will now the time is 10:33. Kita berhenti lebih kurang 10 macam tu. Kita ada sampai pukul 12 kita ada sampai pukul 1 ya. Untuk go to play around, then we have got questions. So masukkan soalan-soalan, typekan soalan-soalan dalam chat, and then as time goes on kita akan hentikan presenter untuk bertanya 1-2 soalan. We'll make it as lively as possible. Okay, dan tidak buang masa, saya nak beri peluang kepada kedua-dua pensyarah kita yang akan membentang mengenai dengan best practices ini, bermula di PIS. First of all, Puan Azila, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, we'd like to have you on the screen now. Is that possible?
Okay.
All right. Thank
My
you very
share
much.
button. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, I cannot share the screen.
Hold on. Okay, we're doing that now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I'm sharing my screen now. So
Okay, yeah.
okay, right. So thank you, Doctor. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Okay, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm glad that you all are here with us. Okay, so kami actually diberi 15 minit untuk berkongsi tips and also some quick info basically. Also, I'm not sure whether my director is in, but I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our PS director, Dr. Zubaida, she's in here, and also our TPA, Puan Haja Nomala. Thank you for joining us, supporting us. It's really an honor. Okay, so I will be sharing some quick info and actionable tips based on my experience last semester. And I hope that it will also elevate your teaching and learning through online instruction. Okay, so let me just go to my next slide. Okay, I think I need to present this. Okay, hold on. Okay, just a sec. Okay. So as educators navigate the demands of teaching and learning environments for both online learning and on hybrid schedule, we're constantly, I think you realize that we're constantly striving to strengthen student engagement while taking on a considerable amount of time and effort to integrate technology strategically into the lesson. I think that was the challenge for me. It was the ultimate challenge for me. Okay, so before we dive into a quick walkthrough of some of my favorite tech tools that I could say based on my last experience last semester, they have helped me design engaging student-centered learning experiences, and I like to take you to what was on my mind actually as we transition to online PNL. So here goes. Okay, I hope you can see it clearly. All right, so yeah, some of my major concerns revolve around the question of how do my students and I, so basically we're actually going to survive the challenging learning environment, particularly to improve student collaboration and cooperation. Because I think you know it, I know it, it's not easy to really make sure every student of ours to really engage into the lesson and making sure that they know what to do, right? So I think as an intentional educators, as we always strive for, it is crucial to think about how we could first empower student voice and offer them choices so that they will have more opportunities for collaborative work to demonstrate their learning, right? And also, I know that I need to ensure that my students are not merely sharing the product but the process itself, you see. So you want to know how they accomplish the task, especially now we're doing it through synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. So with that in mind, we go to number 4, all right, fundamentally leveraging student-friendly, device agnostic. I think Mr. Chua did highlight it on making sure that your tools, it has to be techno-comfy. Yeah, you have to be comfortable. As educators, I believe we have to be comfortable with the tools that you plan to use, you wish to use. All right. And also at the end of the day, you need to make sure that the devices are also student friendly and device agnostic, meaning the tools can be used on multiple platforms using multiple devices. Okay, I believe this will help lecturers and educators in providing learning spaces for students to work collaboratively and also showcase what they have learned. So I was on the lookout for tools which were possibly had, blank canvas vibe, flexible and also customizable in nature. So I needed to find those tools, and of course, I would prefer a free, tool. That's like my favorite price. So you don't need to pay for that, right? So these were my concern really as I was designing my lesson plan. Okay, oops. So on to the next one. Okay, now here goes. Okay, oops, sorry. Should go back. Okay. So then I noticed that I kept coming back to using these 4 tools: Wakelet, Flipgrid, Google Slides, and Pear for collaborative work. And I've got to say, these 4 are just awesome. They're great. They're excellent. The first 3 are free, 100% free platform, accessible by multiple devices. Students can get access through their smartphones, not necessarily on laptop, except for Peridot, but they do have a great free plan. So it goes together, all right? And these tools offer interesting features that are completely customizable for various collaborative tasks. And I would not profess that I'm a master of all these 4. No, I would say because I just started using quite extensively last semester. And as a novice user and a fan of simple but powerful tools, I think you educators would find these tools dynamic and flexible to facilitate student collaboration during synchronous and asynchronous instructions. So the first one would definitely be my number 1, Wakelet. Okay, it's 100%. And what is Wakelet? Basically, if you are familiar with Pinterest, where you have all this information from various web pages you gather into a single location. So Wakelet works similar to Pinterest, except that Wakelet is more robust than Pinterest. And you can gather all these resources in just one place. And not that is the primary feature, but of course, as educator, we can be creative. All right, we can sort of design our lesson in such a way we can make use of the space for real-time collaboration. All right. Okay, so that is Wakelet. So if you're curious, you have not heard of it, I think you should just go ahead and Google this up. Okay. And second, Flipgrid. Maybe many of you have heard this, you have used it, or maybe you have heard other people have used it. This is also my favorite. Okay, Flipgrid is actually a video discussion platform. And camera is the heart of Flipgrid. So basically, a student get to video record themselves, and they get to sort of demonstrate their learning and basically give you and submit the recording. So students can cooperate and collaborate with their peers by video record their responses. Students can engage asynchronous video-based discussion. So Flipgrid is mostly suitable for asynchronous activity. But then again, students can actually share their work through Flipgrid. All right, and they can also reflect on learning experiences, asking questions. They can actually comment on their friends' videos and also maybe help their friends solve some question in relation to their task. They can also provide summaries, tell a story. So it is so versatile in such a way. So it's not just a video recording tool. Okay. I think when I used Flipgrid, I felt that my student really enjoyed it because they said that they can play around with the filters. Yeah, it does work like Instagram, IGTV, you know, that kind of vibe. But then again, of course, you want to give them prompts, discussion prompts, so that they will be able to respond to your question and video record themselves. Okay, so the third one would be Google Slides and Perkongsian. So later on, I will show you how I did it with my student for all the four, just an excerpt or some samples, all right, just to give you guys the idea. But of course, I think later on, you might want to go and maybe explore yourself. So Google Slide, as we know it, is free. It's a presentation tool. But just last semester, I used Google Slide and Perkongsian extensively online with my student during live session. And it really allows for real-time collaboration. So I didn't want to give my student a PDF worksheet or tasks that, you know, I want them to scan back. No, I don't want things like that. So I want it to be real time. I want it to be, if not real time, you can do it asynchronously, no problem. But of course, the collaboration as they update, you can see as it happened. So I love Google Slides, and you can really be creative, and it's such it has that blank canvas vibe. You can always create anything, just about anything with Google Slides, really. And as for Perkongsian, Perkongsian is an add-on to Google Slides. Actually, it is also an add-on to PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint. But I am using Perkongsian mostly for Google Slides. So this two is my ultimate combo, I would say. So Perkongsian is an add-on. So if you go to your Google Slide, you'll be able to see at the top one of the tabs that says add-on. So you can find Perkongsian there and add into your Google Slides. So what does Perkongsian do, really? If you have question for your students, right, you want them to respond rather than just asking them verbally. You might want to see whether they actually know whether they would respond to you, because you know it during live session, not everyone would be responding to you, right? So there'll be just like one or two, or just a few, or maybe none. So that's really unfortunate, but that happens. So with Perkongsian, you can have a question and you can have them respond. right there and then. So Peridot can be used for asynchronous and synchronous. So I use Peridot mostly for synchronous learning during my live session with them. All right, so I hope you get the idea. But the thing is, the thing about Peridot, because it's not 100% free, if you add on Peridot to Google Slide, they will give you about, I think, 30-day free trial. All right, and sometimes they're nice enough to give you the opportunity to extend the trial. So what I did, because I love Peridot so much, but I couldn't afford it. So I will use multiple different emails to just use Peridot once my trial ended. Yeah. Okay. So this is okay. We are going to come back to the first one, Wakelet. Okay. So this is what happens before I use Wakelet. So the first one here, what I had in mind, I need a space for collaborative work and other learning activities. Okay. So I had this activity that I need my students to submit their posters. And yeah, their submission, we use Instagram for this actually initially. So of course we set it as private and the students collaborate in this platform. It was at the time I felt that Instagram was, well, not bad. All right. I mean, it's a social media platform and student can easily get in and just basically demonstrate their learning and collaborate with each other, and they can comment and all that and have interaction between their peers. And also, I have a student going into Google Drive. And well, they use email storage, WhatsApp, Telegram to collaborate, and also collating other learning resources. So I was using all these platforms, and I'm still using it until now. It's just except for Instagram though. I felt that at the end of the day, when I want to monitor them, sort of supervise them, facilitate their learning, it was challenging in a way that I can't have them in a place. I can't have them I mean, easy access for them to just go in anytime, you see. So, and luckily, I stumbled upon Wakelet. So this is Wakelet, okay. But of course, ultimately, because it's free, so I was really interested. So Wakelet, just like what I said, it works like Pinterest. But if you're not familiar with Pinterest, no problem. Okay, but it is a place where you can actually store all of your, let's say, PDF, YouTube videos, files from Google Drive, and Wakelet also accept integration by Flipgrid. So if you have videos on Flipgrid, you can actually access from the Wakelet. And because Wakelet can also be accessed through phone, so students felt that they are given the option, you see, to just come in and collaborate with their peers. So here, students can curate or crowdsource information, create galleries of artwork or media, and share their work in a single location. So one of the tasks that I asked them to do was to submit their poster, one of their assessments. So I wanted them to use Wakelet. So I provide a platform for them. So they submit in Wakelet. And the fact that Wakelet now has this one feature in which I could separate the classes, and it's called spaces. So that really helps me to streamline their submission. And also my students will be able to streamline their own resources as well. And the best thing about Wakelet is that the student, when they collaborate, right, they can only delete their posts. So they will not be able to delete other people's posts. So that's the best thing. And they can actually add text, they can comment to their friends' posts. So I believe that is really awesome for collaborative learning. And a student collaborate on collection. So we call all of this collection, okay, collection of resources without having to create an account. So only what I did was I created the collection under my account. So I gave them the code or the link to the collection. So they just come in and add item and comment and interact. As easy as that. Okay, so these are the things that you could do with your Wakelet. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth because it's just a quick overview, but later on, I hope you can go and explore. Of course, I hope that in next semester, my future, well, I could say I like to explore how I could optimize the tool. Maybe I want to come up with a video playlist, a vocabulary card, responding to discussion prompt. I might be putting out question for them and just respond. Podcasting, maybe, I'm not sure. And of course, I think in the beginning of the semester, you might want to just getting to know your students so you can use this space. Okay, so now on to the second tool, which is Flipgrid. Okay, so this was before Flipgrid. I love student to just, speak and express their opinion because really it's like I feel that they are being genuine in such a way. So what I did before, I asked them to record themselves, put it on YouTube, and sometimes I need it to be immediate. So I asked them to submit through WhatsApp. And I'm telling you, at the time, it seemed like a great idea to do it in such a way. But then I had problem with, like, for example, YouTube. You need a really stable connection, internet connection, to be able to sort of upload your videos. So that took time. And then as for WhatsApp, well, really, when they keep posting videos and it's too heavy and sometimes I cannot view the videos. And in terms of streamlining their submission and their sort of, their contribution was a bit difficult for me. But I had this in mind. I want them to be able to, basically express their opinion and also encourage student collaboration. And of course, I want to be able to manage their responses and also give them timely and actionable feedback. So when I got to know about Flipgrid, I'm telling you, it's a godsend. The fact that it is also free. Oh yeah, if you want to know, Wakelet and Flipgrid are under Microsoft. So you can use if you have Microsoft account, you can just sign up using your Microsoft account, no problem. And this is how I use Flipgrid. So Flipgrid, again, they give you a space where you can actually create classes, okay, and you provide prompts as your topic, and you give them the link, like this one, week 1. Obviously, I don't know who they are, so I want them to just introduce themselves, telling their name and everything. So video record themselves, and I told them just have fun, no format, and just playing around with the filters. So they really got excited because, well, I'm not sure. Maybe they are so used to looking at the camera. I don't know, but they seem very confident, very confident. And this helped them leading up to their, this is my semester 1 student. So leading up to their last assessment, which was presentation. By the time we had the assessment, they were all, I would say, very confident on camera. Although, yeah, you might think that, okay, everybody will be confident on camera, virtually, but really it poses a different challenge altogether. So they had fun talking, presenting. So I feel that, yeah, it does fulfill the objective in such a way. So future exploration, I would say maybe I want to use it as exit ticket. Because usually what I did with exit ticket reflection, I would just ask them during our live session at the end of the class. Maybe I want to do virtual scavenger hunt. Okay, I hope I have time for that. Responding to discussion prompts, yeah, of course. So if you notice, I have discussion prompt every week, week 1 until week 14. I just want them to just take the time to speak and express their opinion. I think that's good for them. The fact that you cannot do this during live session, I mean, you cannot ask them. I mean, it's difficult to ask each one of them because of the limited time. And because the challenge of the synchronous session, in which some of them would not have stable internet connection to sustain and stay in the live session, so this would help the students to really continue and demonstrate their learning, and also collaborate with each other, watching their friends' video and respond. Okay. Also, I wanted maybe reading response in the future, record an ongoing story, virtual vocabulary. So yeah, maybe. Okay. And the thing about Flipgrid, students do not have to have an account, only educators. So that's good. All right. You get to control. And the third one, Google Slides and Pear Deck. Okay, I'm going to explain this side by side because Pear Deck is an add-on to Google Slide. So first of all, how I use my Google Slide for collaborative learning, I will provide them sort of graphic organizers like this. Okay, so I was teaching resume writing, and I want them to identify some errors contained in the resume. So as we were having our live session, I gave them the link to the slide, and each slide is the same, except that I want them to come in and just take one slide and write your name on top and just respond. So I will show all of their responses. So as they do it and they discuss with each other, I will project this on the screen, so they can see what their friends are doing and also what they're doing. So really, this is a real-time collaboration, and it's just I would say a good one at that. And as for Pear Deck, this is what you call, when you add Pear Deck, you'll be able to see this. So Pear Deck, if you have interactive question, I mean, if you have a question and you want to make it interactive, I suggest you use Pear Deck. Although yes, like I said, I mean, you'll be on 30-day trial, but I think it's maybe you don't want to use it every single day, but if I were to be honest with you, I am using it almost every class, every week. I just ask them question. I ask them to sort of respond. They can respond through their phone, really. Without leaving the meeting room, they can actually go to another browser tab and respond. All right. Okay, the last one, I just want to show you how this works. Oops. Okay. So I had this activity for them on language function for group discussion assessment. So I just give them a question like this, right? So I show them the question on the screen. So on their phone, when they get in, they can just respond right away. And they can also, as they do that, they discuss with each other. So they told me they really like Pear Deck because they can see their responses on the screen, and they like it. And I think you should give it a try, really. I have yet to subscribe to this because it's, well, quite pricey, but I might think of it because I really love Pear Deck. So all these four really help me to just encourage student collaboration and cooperation. And I would recommend that all educators should just give it a try and really explore as you design your lesson. So yeah,
Okay.
thank you. That will be all from me.
Thank you very much, Juan. That's very interesting. Four types of apps that you can use for your collaborative teaching. And I'd just like you to, my question to you would be this. I think most of us will be asking the same question. What is curation, and how does it help teaching and learning, especially for language? So what is curation?
Okay. If I were to relate to one of the tools, like Wakelet, for example, curation here means, let's say you have resources for your students, all right? So you want it to be structured. So let's say, for example, you use Wakelet for curating vocabulary or language, expression for group discussion. So you will have from at the top until at the beginning you will have just language function phrases and expressions. So you curate all that resources. So you give them the link. So when they go in, you can give them prompt and they can actually respond to the collection, curated collection, and you can ask them to just add on to what other expression that you can think of if you want to interrupt a discussion or an interaction. So they can just come in. So curation is based, in this case, I would say you have to go back to your objective. What is it that you want the students to do? And what are the resources related to the task? Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will ask you a different, slightly different question. Why is curation important?
I would say it's important because, if you were to just give instruction to your students, they may not be able to find their way to certain resources. So, yeah, as educator or as the lecturer in class, you're the captain. You have to pave the way in which, okay, so this is the curated resources that I have for you, but I need you to help me collaborate with your peers. I need you to add on your sort of contribution to the list of resources. So it is important for them to be able to think on their own as well. Student agency, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, why curation is important? Because we live in a world where there is so much information online.
Sure.
And now it has become the duty of the lecturers to look at these contents and choose and pick the ones that are very relevant to your topics, right? So that is what curation is. The word comes from a curator of a museum.
Yeah.
Right? Where you don't put everything in a museum. You go out and you find certain things and certain artifacts and certain documents or whatnot to fit a certain theme, and you bring it to your museum. The same thing goes here. As a lecturer, you need to spend a lot of time in the virtual world to look at all these contents and do a curation of it so that your students are not lost in that sea of digital information. So thank you very much, Bajra,
You're
on
welcome.
this.
Thank you, Doctor.
On showing us how the importance of curation and how you can use curation in a collaborative manner. So now, can we go to the is she on? Juanora, are you ready? All right, so we can pass this to you. It's all yours.
Okay, right. Assalamualaikum. Good morning. I think everyone can listen to my voice clearly.
Your voice is a bit low.
Bit low.
Okay.
Now is it better?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I need to speak louder then. All right. So let me start by sharing my my slide first. Okay. Okay, so I think it's appear already, right?
Yeah, it is on.
Okay, right. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Okay, so how are you? I hope everyone is in a good health, right? So, of course, first thing first, I would like to say thank you to the organizing committee, of course, for organizing today's sharing session. And let me introduce myself. I am Nora binti Sahari from General Studies Department, Polytechnic Ibrahim Sultan. Okay, all right. So for my sharing today, I will talk about Padlet. How does it help my students to build language learning confidence? Okay, so I believe most of you are familiar with Padlet already, right? And I am actually still, honestly, I'm still very new to this online teaching and learning tool. And perhaps some of you already subscribed to the premium version of Padlet, right? Because probably you are an avid user of Padlet, right? So anyway, I hope my little sharing today will excite some of the new user of Padlet to start exploring Padlet for teaching and learning. All right. So I just want to ask a quick, simple questions. Maybe some of you there, you can just answer me through the chat room. All right. Okay. Are you excited on having the class online with the students? All right. Are you excited? If your answer is yes, you can type yeah, I'm excited. Right. But if you're not excited, then you can type I will be okay. All right, I will be okay. I know I will be okay. All right, so because that's the thing I always say to myself. Okay, why? Okay, frankly speaking, I had trouble. I had trouble adjusting myself with the new norm way of teaching and learning, as I always prefer doing face-to-face session with my students. All right, why? I love meeting my students because seeing them face-to-face really give a different vibes. Right, but doing this online, I need to be more expressive, like this. Right, like the way I am right now. I am very expressive. Yeah. So, however, due to the situation we are facing since last year, right, we have to accept, we have to adapt ourselves to it. So, I believe everyone are still adjusting themselves to cope with so many educational online platforms and still facing so many hiccups, right? So the same thing goes to me. I'm still facing the problems and I'm still learning. Okay, so well, everything starts with zero, right? Everything starts with zero. Nothing starts until somebody start doing something. So what else as educators can do? Of course, we need to start exploring and start doing. Okay, so for me today, so I just want to share with you what is Padlet. Okay, first thing is what is Padlet. Okay, so Padlet is actually it is actually a website and app, a website and also an application. So it is called a web app. Okay. Wait, okay. So you just need to think of Padlet as an online bulletin board. Okay, you have this big board, but this one is all virtual, right? But with a lot of things that a regular bulletin board could never do. But of course, with Padlet, the users, they can post like text, images, videos, files, like so many things, links, basically anything is digital. So it is literally a blank wall for students' idea. All right. So others, of course, they can see the posting. So everyone can see the posting. But if you set it to private, then only those students who are given the password can access to it. But as well, they can give comments, they can give vote if the Padlet owners allows it. All right, and then another interesting features of Padlet, which I think I really love about is you can customize your Padlet. You can change the background, you can change the layout, you can change the phone, right? If you want to use like wall layout or timeline layout, so it's up to you, right? It depends on your creativity. It depends on what you want to achieve at the end of the lesson. Okay, so if you feel you want to use the premium version, yeah, you can subscribe to it and pay, of course, right? But me myself, I'm still using the basic Padlet. Okay, so here I have the link on how you guys can create your own Padlet. You can always go and Google for this. It is a very clear step-by-step instruction on how to create Padlet and also how to share Padlet to your students. All right. Okay, moving on to my next slide. Okay, so this is my Padlet. Still very simple. Okay, very. This I just recycle my old Padlet. All right, because previously I've subscribed to Padlet like since 2-3 years ago, but then I didn't really use it. So what I did was I just recycle the new one. So for now, Padlet is limited to only 3 Padlet, but you can always recycle it. Right? If you plan to use it occasionally, then you can just give it a try. All right. So I have like few Padlets already, so I just recycle my old ones. Okay. So main reason why I choose Padlet is I found it very easy to use. It is very handy. Students, they can continue directly as guests. They don't have to sign up account, all right? And then meaning to say the teachers and the students, they can collaborate online easily. All right, because they can just go into it using their handphones. So even though they are using Apple or they're using Android, they can just go to the Padlet application on their handphones, or maybe they can just go straight to Padlet website. All right, so here you can see lots of Padlet creation tools that you can use with your students, and the suggested useful and creative ways to use Padlet for both teachers and also students. So these creation tools actually very simple, because students can just click and they can see all these buttons, right? They can just choose which one that they are asked to do, right? Like for example, if I ask my students to take a snap a photo from their camera, they just click the button, snap, the two snaps. So it is actually very, very helpful. Okay, so moving on. All right, so how do I use Padlet to build language learning confidence? Okay, so it is very common that language learners, right, they often struggle with the feelings of low self-confidence. Right? So how can low confidence affect the students? Okay, it is very this happens like regularly, where I could see that my students, they are having difficulty of interacting with each other, especially using English, right? They have difficulty in having face-to-face conversation. You know, even thinking about getting into the conversation puts butterflies in their stomachs. Then you feel like they are just too nervous, right? So, well, my students, they always freaked out, right? They always freaked out when I told them they are going to do group discussion assessment and oral presentation assessment. Right? So they had so many questions, they had so many doubts at the back of their mind, which I believe they doesn't want to share it with me, especially my semester 1 students. Kalau tak tahu, kita susah nak tolong kan? Sebab tu, we have to correct first what would be their problems and so on, like Mr. Chua mentioned earlier, right? Knowing your learner first. So just for your information, in Polytechnic, the diploma students, they are taking communicative English subjects for 3 semesters. For example, semester 1 students, they are taking communicative English 1, whereby this subject focuses on developing students' speaking skills. So obviously, these subjects should enable them to communicate effectively and confidently in a group discussion as well as in a variety of social interactions. So previously, I always start the first week of my lesson by doing icebreaker session with my students. Normally by letting them play this What Say You board games. That actually helps to break the ice among them and get them to interact in English through games. So this game is actually an innovation from PM's English lecturers, Madam Marina and her team, which actually helps me a lot in order to build the self-confidence as well as to break the ice among my students. All right. However, last semester, I need to set up a new game. Of course, this board game could not be used as students can meet eye to eye. So I decided to use Padlet, as I want them to feel that they are doing the practice in a safe space, especially on the first week of the semester. All right. So I just use this because I want them to feel, feel safe. Because I know that students, like Ms. Azilia mentioned just now, students are very comfortable with camera. So expressive when they are in their Instagram, their TikTok, because I follows their social media accounts, so I could see that they have the confidence. But why in a real class situation they don't have the confidence? Okay, so I just continue with the activities that I did on Padlet. Okay, so for semester 1 students, so these are some of the activities. So I did a self introduction whereby they will need to post a selfie and share about themselves. So these are all my fashion students. So normally fashion students, they have very low self-confidence to interact, to talk with their peers in English. So but what can I see from their Padlet? Actually, when they share their photos, they actually have that confidence. Right? If you're not confident, you won't share your your face to anybody. Right? It still means that they still have that confidence in them. Okay. So this is just an example of it's selfie time activity with my semester 1 students. So that's the first thing, and then also from my mechanical engineering students as well. Okay. Okay, next is okay, like I mentioned earlier, not only for us, not we also have students in semester 4 who took English for communicative English. So semester 4 student, I also did the same thing with them on the first week of the semester, whereby I asked them to post a video, right? To post a video and share about themselves. Okay, why semester 4 students have to share video, but why semester 1 students just share their selfie? Okay, so I think semester 4 students, they have a better self-confidence because they've been through this like for a few semesters already, right? So I think they are already comfortable with their classmates as compared to semester 1 students we just met, right? So actually all this Padlet actually helps me to get familiar with my students' faces and also get to know their name at the start of the semester. So perhaps this could be an icebreaker activity that you guys can try, right? Because I always refer back to my Padlet if I forgot their names. Because I feel like, yeah, I am not supposed to forget my students' names. So I always check on Padlet, even on my phone. Okay. Next is I use Padlet to also gather student response in real time class. Whenever I did any activities in class, right? Sometimes when I need them to respond very fast, I use Padlet to get their response. Okay, so they only need to click on the link provided, which I normally would paste it in Microsoft Teams since we are using Microsoft Teams. And then, so these are some of the activities that I did with my students. So they were asked to share their, and also this is just one example, and then another example whereby they are asked to share their thoughts about their difficulties in learning English, right? So this time around, since I've met them like for more than 2 times already, so this time around I asked them to upload videos instead of sharing their still pictures. So from there, I could say that they are they have built their confidence a little bit. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, so next activity is gather student work. So this is where I just let my students share about their opinions on issues. All right. So
you got about 1 minute.
okay, almost finished. All right. Okay, so this is just a few activity. And then one more thing is exit ticket Padlet. Like Azila mentioned just now, this would be one of the activity that you can do in Padlet, right? Because students, they can you can ask them question, what did you learn today, right? And also from here, I could see that not all of my students really use video to share their thoughts. Only one person, right? So I could see that I need to, give them more motivations to speak more instead of writing it out. They have to speak it out. All right. So personally, these Padlets actually activities help me to identify my students' ability in the language. All right. So of course there are pros and cons in every online digital tools. All right. But for me itself, Padlet is quite easy to use, very easy to use actually. You have a customizable interface, right? It's just that, yeah, you have to be aware that sometimes as students they will not be able to, to give a content that is really suitable. Right? So that's common. All right. But of course, the bottom line is the versatility of Padlet presents students with opportunities. So students have the opportunities to share content and knowledge in ways that are more comfortable. So just a quick conclusion from me. All right. So from the few activities that I did, I actually managed to group those students who I think are quite good in the language to be with those who have average or low language acquisition. So from the videos and somehow I put them together in one group because I meet them only online, right? So I try to manage to group them together, and somehow they slowly improve their confidence level in using the language. So I hope Padlets will help the students to be aware of their lessons and also improve their performance in language learning. So thank you. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Panora, for that explanation on the use of Padlet. We'll see some questions that are just popping up. Or before that, let me just remind you, everyone, that WebEx can accept 3,000 participants, but unfortunately, only the first 1,000 is available, is allowed to see your slides. The next 2,000 can only listen to you, but they can't see your slides, right? So don't not worry, the slides will be distributed so that you can have a look at it on your own at your own time and pace. Yeah. So the first 1,000, the ones that got in the first 1,000, they will be the ones who can see your slides as well as the presenter. Right. For the next 2,000, itu dengar sajalah. You can still see the presenter, but the slides, the ones that they presented, you can't have a look at that. Again, this is WebEx way of making sure that the event is smooth, and the algorithm has come up with that sort of calculation. So just a reminder to everyone. Okay, Panora, my question to you will be this.
Yeah.
The first session we have got PdPDT, we have got Wakelet.
Yeah.
Remind me if I've pronounced it wrongly. You have got PdPDT, you have got what is the other one? Google Slides and
Google Slides.
And there are more. There's a plethora of that. All the apps out there. So
Yeah,
what
true.
is your suggestion to lecturers? There's so many options out there.
Yeah, true.
As an educator, how do you deal with this abundance of apps?
Okay, okay, to give my honest review of that. Okay, so I actually use only few application that I feel comfortable. So the same thing goes to other educators, I guess. So what we need to do is to just start exploring. Maybe we are just too afraid of exploring new online digital tools. Like for me myself, I always comfortable with Padlet. So I believe that I have to keep on trying and learning and using all those Padlet. Try to learn from many sources, right? So because from there you can actually improve the way you teach using all the online digital tools. Honestly, I tell you, I only explore few things like what Azilia shared with me in my office, like Flipgrid. So I found Flipgrid is also interesting if I want my students to speak more, because Flipgrid, they can record more than maximum up to 10 minutes. So they can speak more if they use Flipgrid instead of using Padlet. Because Padlet, it has limited time given.
Thank you very much for the input. Maybe my last question before we leave you, Azilia is Azilia. No, sorry, I'm going back to Azilia. Okay, my last question to you would be, from the student's perspective, everybody is starting to use different sort of applications. Are you hearing any grievances from them saying that, look, can you sort of minimize the use? Everybody use all the lectures to use a certain amount of apps, or do they mind, or are they saying that it's too much? Because I'm sure they have got to create their own, they have got to log in and so on and so forth, and the amount of passwords that they use will be part of your teaching and learning experience. Is there anything like that you're getting from where you are? I'm asking for Azilia.
Azilia.
Oh, myself. Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry. Okay. Well, so far, no complaint from my student. Okay. Because I started out by clarifying and explain to them why do I use the tool, and how would they use the tool. And of course, as I've said, as I design the lesson, I will make sure every step of the way my students are guided, and I will make sure that they can use multiple devices, multiple platforms, and they can easily get access to all of the materials that I have put it out on the tools. So like for example, like Flipgrid, it is not a tool that I use for assessment. It is just one of my classroom activities. But I encourage them. So I have, like, for example, on Flipgrid, I have discussion prompt every week, but I told them just pick say 5 discussion prompt any of the week and just give it a try and video record yourself. So what I did was, after they recorded their videos, I will play it live during our live session, so that they will not use so much of their data to just get access to that material. So when I get their video, I will play them for them, really. And then as for Wakelet, I use it for well, I did use it for collecting submission of their posters, because last semester, no, last semester we had them doing it on Canva. So I want them to be able to just go into Wakelet and paste their link. That's it, as easy as that. And they can use their phone to do that. Yes, we do have our LMS, Learning Management System, CDOS. Okay, but again, I will make sure that I optimize what could be in CDOS and what could be in Wakelet. So the thing is, you have to know why do you use that tool with your student, and can your student respond back to you? So that is really important. Yeah, that's all.
So, all right, thank you very much, participants and presenters from PIS. Great presentation and sharing session to both of you. We will be seeing you, I'm sure, as we venture forth into more webinars. There will be more presentations and more best practice sharings from PIS, I'm very sure. Okay, so thank you very much. Please stay on. We would like to carry on with the second presenter, the third presenter, I'm sorry, from PD, Politeknik. Cik Azruddin, are you there?
Ya, saya di sini.
Ada sana? Okey, kita dengar daripada Cik Azruddin yang akan bercakap on programming, right? The use of programming sebagai tips atau kaedah yang digunakan menyampaikan kuliah dan amali programming. So, inilah dia yang dikatakan macam soalan bagaimana kita nak memastikan bahawa kelas-kelas amali kita sentiasa berjalan walaupun dalam keadaan COVID. Jadi kita dengarlah daripada Encik Muhammad Azruddin Shah daripada Politeknik Perkongsian yang akan berkongsi dengan kita about half an hour mengenai dengan pengalaman beliau di mana kelas pengaturcaraan telah dilaksanakan secara dalam talian. Jadi dengan tidak memasa, saya serahkan kepada Encik Muhammad Azruddin. Silakan.
Okey, terima kasih kepada moderator. Dan tu,
Assalamualaikum. Your audio, kalau boleh, go up a bit. Ya, dan mungkin dekat dengan mulut ya. Cuba cakap, Cik Azruddin.
Sekejap, saya adjust dia punya.
Itu just, okay.
Okey ya, clear?
Ya, okay. Carry on.
Okey. So, terima kasih kepada Purustia di atas peluang dan penghargaan yang diberikan pada saya untuk berkongsi berkenaan dengan kaedah yang saya gunakan dalam pengajaran subjek programming.
Okay. Cik Azruddin, your audio still very low. Kemungkinan kena letak mic tu pada mulut or something. Ya. Cuba cakap dengan
Dengar tak suara saya?
masih lagi slow.
Oh, masih slow lagi ya?
Maybe you kena update your voice kena a bit stronger.
Dengar tak ni?
Okay, try.
Is it okay?
Okay, better. Alright.
Okay. So, untuk pengajaran online ni, saya nak kata sampai akhir sangat tak ada. Cuma beberapa kaedah saya gunakan berpandu kepada pemerhatian dan saya buat kajian di YouTube lah berkenaan dengan pengajaran secara programming lah. Okay, sebelum tu saya kongsikan slide saya.
Suara kurang jelas. They're still complaining that suara kurang jelas lah. So
Okay.
maybe you have to speak louder. Okay.
Okey, macam ni okey ke sekarang?
Yeah,
Suara
very
dengar?
good. Yeah, very good.
Okey, so saya terus kepada bahan perkongsian saya. Tak terlalu ni ke? Noisy ke?
It's good. No echo from my side.
Okey. So, sini saya akan kongsi sedikit lah berkenaan dengan kaedah yang saya gunakan dalam pengajaran programming secara atas talian. So nak kata saya pakar sangat tak adalah. Just a tip for me lebih kepada pensyarah yang baru mengajar untuk subjek programming lah, sebab saya dapat amanah untuk mengajar subjek programming ini pun pada semester lepas ketika pengajaran secara atas talian lah. So saya teruskan. So ini adalah reaksi normal bagi pensyarah engineering, terutama yang tiada background dalam komputer untuk mengajar subjek programming. Kebanyakan pensyarah engineering ni menolaklah untuk mengajar subjek programming, terutama subjek C++ lah. Walaupun pada hakikatnya C++ ni mudah aja, English language sebenarnya tak ada banyak, tak ada sukar pun sebenarnya. So ini respon standard. Saya pun hadapi masalah yang sama, stres macam mana nak mengajar dengan kaedah online lah. Ini cabaran yang saya hadapi dalam saya melaksanakan pengajaran secara atas talian lah. Yang pertama, pelaksanaan kuliah dan amali. Bagaimana kaedah ataupun cara yang saya perlu gunakan untuk saya lakukan proses PNP saya. Yang kedua, macam saya katakan tadi, saya maklumkan tadi, saya baru first time mengajar subjek programming semenjak saya mengajar tahun 2004. Ini satu cabaran lah. Masalah ketiga yang saya hadapi, masalah internet. Sini untuk makluman semua, pada peringkat awal saya lakukan secara live streaming ataupun live meeting. Saya gunakan Zoom, saya gunakan Google Meet, saya gunakan Jitsi, everything semua saya gunakan. Tapi hadapi masalah adalah pada pelajar apabila hadapi masalah pelajar yang internet dia ada masalah. Contoh tak stabil, lagging, lepas tu data habis. So saya langsung memberi kesan kepada kehadiran pelajar. Dan yang terakhir cabaran dia adalah capaian peranti. Sebab seperti yang kita maklum, kebanyakan pelajar politeknik ni, terutama untuk engineering di Politeknik Politeknik, rasa saya hampir 50% adalah dari kalangan B40, yang mana capaian internet peranti untuk internet hanya bergantung pada handphone sahaja. So handphone tu kalau pada dia punya spek yang rendah akan hadapi masalah lah untuk online. So ini adalah cabaran-cabaran yang saya hadapi lah. So daripada cabaran ni saya rangka kaedah bagaimana saya nak mengajar amali dan kuliah secara atas talian. Di sini saya lakukan dua kaedah, iaitu kaedah rakaman dan kaedah perbincangan. Untuk semasa kaedah pengendalian pengajaran kuliah, saya lakukan dua kaedah ni lah. Seperti saya maklumkan tadi, saya buat video pengajaran melalui channel YouTube saya sendiri, iaitu MA Channel. Video pengajaran ni saya rakamlah menggunakan OBS. Yang mana terutama untuk saya yang baru first time mengajar ni, kebarangkalian untuk berlaku dia punya pause masa mengajar tu besar. So bila saya buat video pengajaran, segala pause tu dapat saya buang supaya menunjukkan pengajaran saya ni lebih lancar, semua umpama macam saya master dalam subjek programming lah, walaupun pada hakikat baru semester lepas saya dapat subjek ni. Jadi bila kaedah pakai video pengajaran ni, lebih confident, lebih yakin untuk saya buat pengajaran saya. Dan kaedah yang kedua saya buat untuk sesi pengajaran kuliah ni, saya buat sesi perbincangan. Ini perlu juga kita buat sebab seperti yang ramai tahu, apabila kita gunakan YouTube, video pengajaran, kita tak dapat melakukan perbincangan ataupun interaktif dua hala antara saya dengan pelajar. So salah satu kaedah yang saya buat adalah menggunakan sesi perbincangan, iaitu menggunakan live meeting, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Jitsi. Selain daripada itu, saya gunakan juga platform CDOS dan juga WhatsApp. Di sini saya lupa nak tambah satu lagi, saya gunakan juga live streaming dengan pelajar. Jadi dapat juga respon dengan pelajar. Tapi bila buat live streaming, dia agak, live streaming gunakan YouTube live ni dia agak berat sikit berbanding gunakan Facebook live. So itu cabaran dia lah bila buat guna YouTube. Tapi lebih mudah dan lebih sesuai untuk pelajar berbincang menggunakan WhatsApp. CDOS pun pelajar ada masalah. Kadang saya dah add banyak kali pun dalam CDOS sistem dia kata nama dia masih tak ada. Tapi bila gunakan WhatsApp, respon daripada pelajar tu lebih cepat sebab seperti kita maklum pun WhatsApp dia punya ni tak terlalu besar, light sikit berbanding CDOS. Pelajar tak pasal login apa semua, jadi masalah pada pelajar. So bila WhatsApp dia lebih mudah lah. Tu kaedah pengajaran secara kuliah yang saya buat. Dan kaedah kedua, cabaran dia adalah bagaimana saya nak buat mengajar subjek programming seperti yang kita sedia maklum. Programming ni kita perlu skill, kemahiran. Jadi bagaimana? Dan untuk makluman semua, saya pernah buat juga live streaming mengajar penulisan skrip, penulisan atau cara secara live meeting. Tapi seperti yang saya terangkan awal tadi, masalah dia adalah masalah attendance. So bila pelajar tak dapat attend saya punya live meeting saya, pengajaran secara live, jadi pelajar tertinggal. Jadi untuk mengatasi masalah tersebut, saya lakukan kaedah yang sama juga, iaitu video rakaman. Tapi untuk video rakaman kali ini saya buat saya buat review video daripada YouTube, sumber YouTube. Sini kita perlu kena pasti video yang mana sesuai untuk digunakan bagi review amali kita. Untuk subjek programming ni di Jabatan Kejuruteraan Elektrik, saya lakukan review untuk konten di real learning sebab kaedah pengajaran ataupun arahan atau cara yang digunakan similar dengan nota pengajaran saya yang saya gunakan. Dan yang kedua juga, saya still lakukan sesi perbincangan seperti yang saya telah terangkan tadi juga tadi. Perlu juga buat sebab kita nak dapat respon daripada pelajar sama ada faham ataupun tidak, jelas ataupun tidak pengajaran yang saya buat berdasarkan video itulah. Itu dua kaedah yang saya gunakan. Itu saya maklumkan awal tadi, nak kata saya pandai sangat pun tak ada. Cuma saya gunakan kaedah yang memudahkan. Seperti saya bersetuju juga dengan dua panel awal tadi, yang mana apabila kita nak buat pengajaran secara atas talian, yang pertama paling penting kita comfortable dengan sesuatu software. So untuk di sini saya kongsi sini adalah software yang lebih comfortable saya guna, kaedah yang comfortable saya guna ialah melalui video rakaman dan saya buat review. Itu lebih comfortable, lebih yakin, lebih berani untuk saya buat berbanding saya buat live meeting. Kadang pun ada pause sebab saya pun terpaksa still dalam study lagi. Sampai sekarang pun saya masih lagi still learning dalam C++ punya language supaya untuk semester akan datang ni lebih lancar untuk sesi pengajaran saya. So saya rasa tak ada masalah untuk kebanyakan pesyarat engineering armnya untuk ajar subjek programming sekiranya menggunakan dua kaedah yang saya kongsikan ni. Lebih mudah, lebih interaktif dan lebih fleksibel kepada pelajar. Ini tips-tips dia macam mana saya buat pengajaran secara atas talian untuk programming ni lah. Pertama, berani dan yakin sebab kalau kita tak berani dan tak yakin dengan diri kita, memang rakaman kita akan tak jadilah. Seperti yang dimaklumkan oleh dua panel awal. Dan panel yang kedua tadi pun maklumkan juga, sekiranya kita tak mulakan first step, maknanya sampai bila pun kita tak akan bergerak ke mana-mana lah, kita akan berada di situ. Yang kedua, dengan menggunakan video pengajaran ni juga kita dapat kena pasti mana bahan kuliah yang menarik untuk kita gunakan. Lebih interaktif kita boleh gunakan. Banyak video lagi kita dapat gunakan tanpa lagging ketika kita buat live meeting. Berbanding kita buat live meeting, bila kita put on kita punya video lain, dia akan terdapat lag situ. So pelajar pun hadapi masalah nak tengok kita punya video. Nak attend kita punya live meeting. Berbanding kita buat video rakaman, dia lebih fleksibel, size pun tak begitu besar, tak terlalu berat nak tengok. Yang ketiga, pemilihan video amali yang ringkas, padat dan bersesuaian dengan subjek yang kita ajar. Yang keempat, faham bahan pengajaran kita. Sebab kalau tak faham, memang susahlah seperti yang kita tahu dah kita sebagai pengajar. Dan yang kelima, gaya persembahan. Nak kata gaya persembahan, saya punya gaya persembahan pun kadang pada peringkat awal dah sampai sini pun ada ketika juga macam pembaca berita juga intonasi. Still sekata. Tapi kita pelbagaikan supaya video kita nampak lebih menarik untuk kita persembahkan kepada pelajar untuk kita tontonlah. So, daripada dua kaedah yang saya terangkan tadi, sini saya senaraikan perisian yang saya gunakan untuk proses rakaman dan pengajaran saya lah. First, seperti saya maklumkan awal tadi, saya gunakan rakaman menggunakan platform OBS. Kenapa saya gunakan OBS? Sebab dia free, mudah untuk digunakan. Dan rasa saya kebanyakan YouTubers pun memang gunakan OBS untuk rakaman. Yang kedua, perisian suntingan yang saya gunakan Filmora sebab saya lebih fleksibel dengan Filmora. Terdapat macam-macam juga lagi software untuk kita buat editing. Maybe setiap orang ada dia punya editing software yang dia nak gunakan lah, tapi saya lebih prefer kepada Filmora. Dan untuk editing gambar, saya gunakan picture edit yang dapat dalam Microsoft. Saya tak belajar, sini saya tak nyatakan Adobe sebab Adobe dia sukar sikit dan saya nak belajar balik, saya agak berat, macam malas sikit. Jadi saya lebih pada prefer guna picture edit yang lebih light dan tak ada berat macam-macam. So itu untuk perisian yang saya gunakan untuk proses pengajaran saya bagi subjek programming. Dan peralatan, kalau anda perhatikan tiga-tiga peralatan yang saya senaraikan ni terdapat pada kita punya laptop. Sebenarnya peralatan yang digunakan adalah satu biji laptop saja. So tak ada masalah untuk kita buat rakaman di mana-mana. Sedangkan untuk makluman semua, saya pernah buat rakaman pengajaran saya di dalam bilik pesyarah yang crowded. Agak bising, tapi saya dapat kurangkan noise. Itu kelebihan menggunakan OBS. Noise sekeliling kita boleh kurangkan pada kadar paling minimum supaya tak mengganggu kita punya video rakaman. Ini adalah contoh-contoh video pengajaran saya dan video review amali saya yang saya letak pada saya punya channel, MN channel tu. Kalau boleh jangan lupa subscribe, like, share, tekan butang lonceng. Itu kata-kata biasa untuk YouTubers lah. So ini antara konten-konten yang saya gunakan untuk subjek programming. Tapi cabaran yang paling besar yang dihadapi bila kita buat video rakaman ni adalah masa dan kerajinan. So sekiranya kita agak malas, memang kita tak buatlah video rakaman kita. Sini memang untuk peringkat ni memang saya paksa diri saya untuk buat video pengajaran saya bagi kegunaan pelajar saya. Dan alhamdulillah lah saya dapat cover all the 5 topik untuk fundamental programming bagi kegunaan pelajar. Selain daripada itu, contoh video review amali pula saya sediakan. Ini yang saya katakan tadi, saya buat review untuk channel video daripada channel YouTube Relearning. So dia lebih mudah untuk kita buat lah. Ini kaedah. So mudah untuk kita buat tanpa perlu kita nak master kita buat writing kita punya programming, tapi in the same time kita boleh buat pengajaran kita lebih confident, pelajar pun lebih faham. Okay, daripada sepanjang satu semester saya buat pengajaran menggunakan YouTube, saya ada buat sedikit kaji selidik berkenaan keberkesanan tersebut. Yang pertama, kalau perhatikan sini, lebih 90% responden iaitu pelajar bersetuju saluran YouTube lebih bersesuaian untuk digunakan bagi proses pengajaran kerana ia lebih interaktif dan menarik minat pelajar bagi memahami dan mempelajari subjek programming. Ini soal sidik yang saya buat setelah saya habis pengajaran saya menggunakan YouTube lah. Di mana kalau anda perhatikan situ, terdapat lebih 80% pelajar yang mempelajari subjek ni, subjek fundamental programming ni, apabila gunakan saluran YouTube, dia lebih menarik minat dia untuk belajar subjek ni. Dan kaedah gunakan YouTube juga ni lebih menarik daripada kaedah konvensional. Kaedah konvensional pun sedia maklum lah, kita buat one to one, face to face pengajaran. So secara langsung tak ada masalah kita gunakan saluran YouTube untuk kita buat proses pengajaran. Apa sahaja proses pengajaran untuk kita buat. Lupa saya nak maklumkan, untuk subjek ni maybe juga kita boleh, untuk kaedah yang saya kongsikan ni, maybe kita boleh gunakan juga untuk subjek software yang lain. Contoh macam untuk engineering, electrical engineering, kita ada embedded robotik, kita ada IoT punya program. So kita boleh selitkan kaedah ini untuk memudahkan proses pengajaran. Jadi apabila kita buat proses pengajaran secara atas talian, tak ada masalah untuk pelajar memahami segala penyampaian pengajaran kita. Selain daripada itu, lebih 90% responden menyatakan masa pembelajaran lebih fleksibel untuk ditonton. Disebabkan oleh saluran YouTube ni, dia boleh akses bila-bila masa. Mana kalau anda tengok situ, 67.4% menyatakan dia menonton video pengajaran saya ni bila-bila masa, dia tak tetap masa. Dan 27.9% pula menonton ketika waktu malam. Jadi secara langsung menunjukkan data mereka tidak terlalu kita tetapkan masa tu je nak guna. Jadi dia boleh tengok bila-bila masa. So Itu yang saya katakan tadi. Kita gunakan saluran itu, kita buat rakaman, pelajar boleh tonton bila-bila masa, di mana sahaja tanpa perlu dia terlalu fix ikut jadual waktu. Contoh kalau jadual waktu saya dulu mengajar, tak silap saya jam 12 hingga pukul 1. 12 tengah hari hingga 1 petang. Yang mana kalau ikut teori pembelajaran pun, waktu tu adalah waktu tepu untuk pelajar belajar. Lepas tu sumbat pula dengan teori programming, memang confirm mengantuk. Jadi daripada situ saya buat, itu yang saya katakan, saya buat rakaman. So pelajar bila-bila masa boleh tonton tanpa menyatakan, oh cik tak boleh lah, ada data habis, oh cik tak boleh lah, internet lag, tak ada masalah untuk mereka tonton video saya. Jadi rasa saya untuk kita memantau kehadiran pelajar yang menonton video kita, kita boleh letakkan QR code dalam kita punya video. Jadi pelajar boleh scan QR code, isi data dan terus send dalam Google Form. Jadi menunjukkan kehadiran dia menonton video itu. Selain itu, kalau biasanya kita malas untuk buat QR code, sebab dalam video-video pengajaran saya ada juga saya tak letak QR code. Bagaimana kita nak kesan kehadiran, saya minta pelajar untuk tulis pada ruang komen kesimpulan pengajaran saya ataupun poin-poin penting yang saya nyatakan. Diorang kena listkan berapa poin-poin penting. Jadi diorang list itu adalah kehadiran mereka pada video pengajaran saya. Itu saya pantau kehadiran mereka. So itu saja. Ringkas saja sebab saya lebih pada perkongsian bagaimana saya gunakan pengajaran programming saya untuk semester yang baru ni. Okey, itu saja.
Terima kasih Cik Muhammad Azruddin, so very interesting. Saya cukup minat dengan you punya opening statement yang mengatakan selagi kita tak cuba dan kita tidak boleh tahulah apa kelebihan yang ada pada teknologi yang boleh kita bantu. I'm sure banyak pitfalls ataupun masalah-masalah yang dihadapi oleh semua lecturers apabila menggunakan teknologi ini. Jadi saya dapat tahu bahawa you have got a YouTube channel dan I think you punya subscriber pun dah begitu banyak. Kita mintalah kalau boleh cakap sikit kalau boleh on creating your own YouTube channel. Apakah you punya own you rasa the strong tips untuk memastikan bahawa orang datang nak tengok dan belajar dan sebagainya. Is there any way that you can just share on that?
Okey, untuk konten-konten yang saya buat ni, saya pun masih learning lagi daripada beberapa YouTuber-YouTubers yang lain. Tapi yang boleh saya katakan tadi, kita cuba pastikan konten yang kita buat tu tidak terlalu flat ataupun kata lain tak terlalu kadang jangan, kalau memang kita pengajar, konten kita memang educational, tapi ada ketika tu jangan terlalu 100% terlalu educational lah, apa saya cakap, saya pun tak tahu. Terlalu macam subjek yang kita nak ngajar, tapi kita kena selitkan beberapa isi-isi lain dalam pastikan bahan yang kita nak ajar tu, video kita nak ajar tu menarik.
Bagi contoh sikit, just a small example.
Kita selitkan video-video, macam saya kata awal tadi, video-video kita selitkan juga dalam pengajaran tersebut. Dalam video pengajaran pun kita selit video-video yang menarik pelajar supaya dia sentiasa tengok video kita. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua, pastikan video pengajaran kita kalau boleh tidak lebih daripada 15 minit. 10 ke 15 minit itu adalah waktu aktif untuk seseorang viewer tonton kita punya view. Sekiranya lebih 15 minit, confirm dia akan skip to end.
Okay.
Jadi kita pun rugi pada kita punya view, rugi kita punya time view. Lepas tu apa yang kita nak sampaikan pun tak tercapai jugalah.
Okay.
Pada MA Channel juga, saya bukan tumpuk pada pengajaran saya juga. Saya tumpukan juga kepada cancer awareness. Berkenaan dengan diet cancer awareness lah yang disampaikan oleh isteri saya.
So dapat gaya dan YouTube channel ada banyak topik lah, banyak benda yang boleh kita membawa minat ramai orang dan bukan sahaja pada PDP. Jadi ia menjadi satu orang kata resource center di mana orang datang untuk belajar dengan lebih lagi on numerous topics. So itu adalah your secret sauce recipe lah. Saya rasa yang boleh So make sure it's interesting.
Kita pelbagaikan.
Kita pelbagaikan. Dan kita dapat bahawa tengok bahawa ramai orang dapat masuk dan sebagainya. Okey, juga untuk slot petang ini untuk dapatkan tips menjadi pensyarah sebagai content creator. Okey, kita akan ada lebih slot pada petang ini yang mana kita akan dengar daripada pensyarah-pensyarah bagaimana to become a best content creator yang very effective type of content creator supaya your content dapat dilihat oleh pelajar-pelajar dan dia become viral and so on and so forth. Ya. So terima kasih saya nak ucapkan pada Encik Muhammad Zuri daripada Politeknik Perkongsian. Thank you so much on your presentation and sharing. Well done. Kita nak move on to our last but definitely not least presenter daripada, so now kita dah melompat ke Polisas, ke Kuantan. So kita minta Encik Nuzin and also presenter lain to be on board. Kemungkinan kita akan buat satu discussion di hujung nanti across all places nanti ya. Jadi saya juga nak menjemput sekarang kalau boleh tangan naik sikit Polisas. Okay, there you are.
Hai, hello Tuan Nana.
Right, hello.
Okay, audio.
Okay, saya perkenalkan diri tuan-tuan sikit. Kita di Polisas ada 2 orang. Okay. Dia Muhammad Hafizi Faiz Zulkifli, pegawai UIDM. Ya, itu dia. So ini adalah Maru atau pegawai UIDM. Dan Encik Muhammad Faris bin Ismail, also pegawai UIDM Maru kedua. So ini adalah, this is where Maru atau pegawai UIDM dan pegawai e-learning dan pensyarah-pensyarah semua come together dalam satu ekosistem untuk membantu PDP supaya berjaya. Jadi slot yang terakhir ini pada pagi ini bukanlah slot mengenai dengan application seperti mana slot number 1 dan number 2. Ia adalah satu, kalau boleh saya katakan, teaching and learning innovation yang telah dibuat pada tahun lepas dan di mana mereka telah come up with a whiteboard for teaching. Whiteboard atau lightboard? A lightboard. A lightboard. Saya silap sudah. A lightboard for teaching and learning. Saya rasa a lot of you dah tengok banyak universiti lately mengatakan bahawa oh ini the first lightboard dan sebagainya. Kita pun ada kita punya own lightboard dan you have done from last year, digunakan pakai semasa PdPDT last year. Jadi dengan tidak buang masa, saya nak beri laluan kepada Polisas, tim Polisas untuk cerita sikit mengenai dengan where the idea come from dan apa dia yang nak digunakan, how is it digunakan pakai dalam PDP. Okey, silakan.
Okey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi pada semua. Pertamanya saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Dr. Nana selaku moderator. Terima kasih kepada JPPKK khususnya BIPD kerana memberi peluang pada kami lah untuk boleh kata berkongsi share sedikit amalan PdPDT di Polisas. Okey. Sebelum tu saya kenalkan diri dulu. Nama saya Hafizi, Maru 1 di Polisas. Sahabat saya
Muhammad Faris bin Ismail, Maru 2 Polisas.
Okey, untuk pengetahuan kawan-kawan, mungkin kawan-kawan di college community mungkin tertanya-tanya, Maru ni apa sebenarnya? Okey, Maru ni adalah Multimedia and Resource Officer, ataupun dipanggil pegawai multimedia. Setiap politeknik dia ada pegawai multimedia lah, yang mana pegawai multimedia ni ditempatkan di unit pembangunan instruksional dan multimedia. Okey, apa tugas-tugas UIDM ni? UIDM ni ialah UIDM akan membantu para pensyarah untuk membangunkan bahan-bahan PDP berasaskan multimedia. Contohnya macam video 360, rakaman video, rakaman foto, audio, semualah. Itu merupakan satu tanggungjawab UIDM, tanggungjawab Maru lah, Maru 1 dan Maru 2. Okey, sebab ada yang bertanya saya, kadang-kadang tak tahu apa ni. Dia tanya, Maru ni apa sebenarnya? Jadi kat sini saya ceritakan teruslah Maru tu apa. Okey, seperti mana yang tuan-tuan boleh tengoklah di belakang kami ni, kami telah membangunkan satu produk yang dinamakan Polisas Lightboard. Okey, produk ni secara apa ni? Asasnya produk ni adalah produk yang kita bina pada Jun 2020 pada tahun lepas ya, sejurus selepas kita dilanda pandemik lah, satu pandemik yang global lah orang cakap kan. Semua terkesan. Okey, apa yang kita buat ialah kita cuba membawa pengalaman chalk and talk di dalam online. Apa ni orang cakap, experience face to face. Seperti mana kita tahu mana-mana pun di sekolah ke, kita belajar daripada kecil dulu, kita tahu chalk and talk ni satu perkara, satu kaedah yang dekat dengan kita, face to face dengan pelajar. Jadi kita cuba membawa experience tu ke dalam online supaya pelajar dan juga pensyarah boleh merasai. Okey, sebelum saya pergi bercerita dengan lebih lanjut, saya ingat saya nak kongsikan dengan tuan-tuan satu video tentang amalan PdPDT di Polisas menggunakan lightboard. Okey.
pengajaran dan pembelajaran secara dalam talian pasti ada kekangan. Namun dengan adanya idea dan inovasi daripada warga Polisas, pengajaran dan pembelajaran akan dapat ditingkatkan. Polisas, reset your world. Ifan Iqbal, Poli TV, it's the chapter.
Okey. Mungkin tuan-tuan dah dapat sedikit gambaran tentang lightboard yang kami bina. Okey. Saya harap tuan-tuan boleh layari YouTube channel, iaitu Polisas channel. Sebab sekarang ni kita baru ada 960 subscriber. Kod-kod mana dah tahu kan? Boleh pergi lebih. Harap tuan-tuan boleh subscribe dan juga share lah. Okey. Next slide. Okey, untuk bercerita dengan lebih lanjut tentang reka bentuk dan juga idea konsep lightboard ni, saya jemput sahabat saya, Encik Faris Ismail, untuk menerangkan lebih lanjut lah.
Okey, seperti yang tuan-tuan lihat di slide show tadi, ini antara keluhan pensyarah pada peringkat awal pandemik, sejurus selepas pandemik. Keluhan pensyarah, masalahnya ruangan yang terhad untuk membuat pembelajaran secara online. Bila mana kita tengok peringkat awal sebelum kita cipta produk ni, pensyarah tu sendiri mengalami masalah bila kelas online. Peringkat awal diorang kena, pensyarah perlu draw something dekat kertas paper, and then contoh drawing kita tunjuk dekat depan laptop ataupun PC, and then student boleh refer kat situ. So secara keseluruhannya kreativiti ataupun pensyarah tu sendiri tak boleh nak explore lebih, tak boleh nak explain lebih, tak boleh nak explain lebih sebab limit until just as big as A3 paper sahaja, yang tu je. And then the next stage kita ada camera on top. So still pensyarah kalau contoh architecture start dengan drawings, nak explain drawing to the student.
Sorry, audio you tak clear.
Okay, testing. Test.
Atas kita.
Kita audio.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, peringkat awal explanation terhadap student tu menjadi limit. So bila mana kita came out dengan idea ni, so pensyarah boleh gunakan ruangan yang agak besar seperti dalam kelas tanpa membelakangi student, facing the student, still pensyarah pun boleh explain to the student in term of the calculation, in term of the drawings and so on. Tak perlu lagi guna A4 paper, explain everything, so student pun akan jadi bosan. So antara komponen utama, okay, so basically chalk and talk tu masih lagi macam Cik Siri kata tadi, environment of the classroom tu kita bawa kepada online. Okay, so the next slide. So kita the basic idea, kita came out dengan few of the design, okay, kita discuss and then kita came out dengan final design yang ada belakang ni,
prototype lah.
Tu. Okay, the size of the height of the light board is dalam 7 kaki kali 6 kaki, and then the board itself 6 kali 4 kaki. So ample space for the lecturer untuk discuss ataupun untuk explain everything dekat board tu sendiri. Okay, next. Okay, ini adalah komponen-komponen utama yang kita gunakan. Menggunakan slotted angle bar, LED light, acrylic board dan juga neon marker. So saya akan terangkan, okay, yang ni structure kita, main structure. Kita menggunakan slotted angle bar, di mana fungsi utama slotted angle bar ni as a main structure of the light board. Compare dengan material lain, contoh besi lain kita kena tebuk and then kita kena paku everything. Contoh kayu kena paku, besi kena tebuk. Tapi slotted angle bar ni memang dah sedia ada berlubang. So kita just connect dia dengan menggunakan bolt and nut sahaja. Okay. So mana-mana institusi yang dah ada alat, kita boleh grind sendiri. Or else kita just pergi hardware, kita bagi dimension, diorang dah siap potong, balik ke institusi masing-masing, just plug and play sahaja. Okay, yang ni main structure. And then kita juga menggunakan acrylic board 10mm, 10mm berketabalan. Tebal dia ada various of thickness, tapi kita ambil yang tebal supaya dia tak melendut bila kita draw something on the board. Okay. So light board ni juga dilengkapi dengan LED light di sekeliling. Kalau kita boleh tengok, okay, on off, okay, LED light function dia untuk menimbulkan lagi tulisan yang kita tulis di light board ni tadi. Okay. And then kita juga menggunakan neon marker. Okay. Function neon marker ni adalah untuk memberikan tulisan tu lebih glow apabila dipantulkan dengan LED light yang kita letakkan di sekeliling board ni tadi. Okay, sebagai contoh kalau kita off, okay, kita on, dia akan lagi glow. Okay, boleh tutup lampu tak? Okay. Contoh, okay, dia lagi terang, jelas bila kita switch off light. Okay, kalau kita tutup, tak nampak tulisan. Kita on, nampak tulisan. Okay. So, light board ni juga dilengkapi dengan 4 roda for mobilization. So, senang kita nak gerakkan ke mana-mana kita
buka lampu
nak pergi. Okay. Next, Encik Fizi akan tunjukkan macam mana sistem light board ni sendiri connect to the online class maupun secara rakaman.
Okey, seperti mana yang tuan-tuan boleh tengok di skrin, masalah dia bila buat macam ni ialah boleh zoom sikit? Tidak apa. Tulisan akan jadi terbalik. Sebenarnya pensyarah akan tulis seperti biasa, tapi tulisan ni akan jadi terbalik lah. Apa yang kita buat ialah kita akan menggunakan satu lagi software dipanggil Snap Camera. Snap Camera ni satu software yang free, boleh download sebagai filter. So maksudnya filter ni akan flipkan seperti mana yang kita tengok ni lah. Okey, cuba tekan flip. Okey, sekarang dah jadi flip lah. Daripada tulisan terbalik tadi dia akan jadi seperti biasa. Jadi itu yang kita buat di sinilah. Okey. Okey, terdapat dua kaedah menggunakan lightboard ni. Yang pertama, kita boleh buat secara rakaman. Yang mana rakaman lebih mudah lah. Kita boleh rakam dulu topik by topik dan kita upload di mana-mana platform lah. Okey, yang kedua, kita boleh buat secara live. Secara live ataupun boleh menggunakan OBS, boleh maksudnya Google Meet macam kita guna sekarang ni, Webex kan. Jadi kita boleh gunakanlah platform-platform ni untuk secara live. Okey, kita akan tunjukkan macam mana. Kalau kata editing, sebenarnya mudah je editing ni. Tak terlalu orang kata terlalu kompleks. Kita pakai apa pun software pun kita boleh flipkan editing ni. Even di dalam phone pun sebenarnya kita boleh gunakan. Okey, contoh boleh. Tengok. Okey, kita record. Kita bagi contoh record record. Sekarang tulisan terbalik. Okey, bila kita stop.
Okay, tulisan terbalik, kita just pergi ke edit, crop, and then kita flip. Done. So, kita dah ada, tak perlu pun, kalau tak ada kamera and so on yang canggih, kita boleh menggunakan phone untuk kita flipkan video yang kita record tadi. So, tak ada masalah untuk yang tak ada kelengkapan video kamera yang canggih, kita just menggunakan phone saja. Kita boleh record apa yang kita rakamkan dan kita boleh flip secara dalam telefon saja. Dan next video ni kita just boleh upload kepada pelajar tu sendiri. Okey, itu secara asas macam mana lightboard ni berfungsi. Dan seterusnya next. Okey, ini apa yang telah kita laksanakan sebelum ini, PdP secara atas talian bersama pelajar secara live maupun rakaman. And then next. Dan untuk pengetahuan semua, kita telah menghantar projek inovasi ni ke IVDIIC 2020, anjuran UiPM, dan alhamdulillah produk ni mendapat Gold Award untuk kategori innovation. Okey, next. Okey, itu saja dari kami.
Diharapkan dengan perkongsian ini boleh memberi manfaat lah kepada semua. Okey, terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much tim daripada Polisas atas kongsian dengan lightboard tadi. Very interesting. Saya juga diberitahu bahawa lightboard ini you all dah sebenarnya idenya daripada YouTube, betul? I mean, dia ada DIY, dia ada dekat YouTube, dan beberapa innovation telah pun dirakukan ke atas idea asal dia. Boleh sesiapa terangkan apakah tambahan value yang telah you all buat?
Okay, first of all in term of the cost, kalau kita tengok lightboard ni sebelum ni memang dah ada, international dekat overseas pun dah ada, tapi the price a bit high. Untuk dapatkan size yang sebesar ni 8,000 plus. Okay. And then apa yang kami buat ialah kami buat satu inovasi di mana lightboard ni mampu milik untuk semua institusi. Untuk size macam ni not more than 1,000, dalam 700 something yang kita habis untuk memiliki satu lightboard ni. So semua institusi boleh buat sendiri. So kita boleh bagi dia punya drawings and so on. boleh buat sendiri dan adakan sendiri di setiap institusi masing-masing. And then dari segi architecture, saya based on architecture, apa yang boleh dilihat di sini, kita ada rotate angle bar ni, di mana kita boleh tambah add-on ruler, scale ruler, kita boleh letak sini dan kita buat drawing. Okey, saya nampak kat sini dia ada platform kat sini, so kita boleh add on letak big size of the ruler, kita boleh masukkan, kita nak letak drawings and then technical drawings and so on, tak ada masalah. So yang tu antara komponen utama penambahbaikan daripada yang sedia ada sebelum ni.
Sebab kos pun agak murah, dalam 700 lebih Faris, tak lebih 800. Lepas tu kita dapat satu saiz yang besar. Tapi mana kata kalau kita nak buat sendiri pun kita boleh modify sendirilah berdasarkan saiz dan mungkin lebih murah lah.
Okay, good. So I like the innovation bit di mana you tambah baik dengan boleh buat architectural drawing dengan adanya ruler dan sebagainya. Dan the total cost is about what? 700, just now you said 700 RM. So I think benda ni boleh dibuat oleh semua politeknik. Hanya saya nak tahu sekarang pengoperasian ni di mana whiteboard sekarang ni berada di Politeknik.
Okey, lightboard ni kita letakkan di studio UIDM. Feel free pada pensyarah, siapa-siapa pensyarah yang untuk menggunakan lightboard ni, dia boleh datang ke UIDM untuk berbincang dan juga menghasilkan video. Jadi sangat apa ni, nak kata sambutan tu okeylah. Kita ada, sebab dengan pandemik 30% bekerja ni kan, kita perlu rancanglah dari segi tempahan ni, dan kami merancang juga jika ada bajet lagi kita nak letakkan di jabatan, khususnya contoh jabatan JMSK, contoh, sebab ini sangat sesuai pada subjek yang melibatkan penyiraan.
Saya baru nak tanya, siapakah yang boleh pakai lightboard ni paling kerap?
Okey, biasanya yang melibatkan penyiraan, sketch drawing, architecture, yang itulah yang mendapat sambutan, sebab dia orang suka menggunakan lightboard ni, sebab tak perlu nak tulis di atas kertas, ataupun ada setengah tu kebanyakan pensyarah membeli drawing pad. Jadi untuk menggunakan drawing pad ni dia perlukan satu kemahiran untuk berata juga, sebab bukan senang kita nak tulis kat drawing pad tapi nak memata, nak kena memandang pada skrin. Jadi itu agak antara keluhan yang kita dengar, agak susah lah. Jadi bila kita sediakan satu lightboard ni, jadi dia orang suka, dia orang boleh sketch seperti mana dia face to face dengan student di dalam kelas. Itulah.
Okay, alright. So JMSK for the time being architecture mendapati boleh dikatakan minat lah boleh pakai ni. Jadi prosesnya adalah mereka tempah, I suppose, datang ke USM dan buat rakaman, dan video tu dia orang letak di platform masing-masing ataupun macam mana? So adakah durasi seperti mana tadi Azrul kata 15 minit, jangan lebih pada 15 minit. Is there a duration here yang you all macam ada polisi?
Okey, bila pensyarah datang ke UIDM, kita akan berbincang lah dan kita akan memberi nasihat, dan in fact kita pun akan develop video tu sendiri untuk dia berdasarkan subjek dan juga konten yang diberikan pada kita. Kita akan tolong edit sekali, buat sehingga sampai siap lah bersama-sama dengan pensyarah. Jadi tak ada masalah lah kat situ, sebab kita memberi apa ni, nasihat berdasarkan pengalaman kita lah, biar tempoh durasi yang bersesuaian. Biasanya satu video tu tak lebih dari 15 minit, kadang-kadang 10 minit je.
Sebab kalau panjang pun emergency, contoh nak send to the WhatsApp, kalau big duration tu big size lah untuk hantar. Kita buat
pendek-pendek, short je, dan kita galakkan dia untuk buat setiap topik, subtopik, berdasarkan subtopik keluar satu video. Dan bila dia dah siapkan satu, contohnya dalam kata tiga topik contohnya dia siapkan 3 topik dan subtopik tu, dia boleh tunggu at any time bila dia nak gunakan video tu. Dia buat live juga, tapi bila untuk sebagai satu video rujukan dia upload. Itu terpulang, kita tak ni lah. Sama ada dia nak menggunakan YouTube Polisa Channel ataupun dia boleh gunakan platform dia sendiri.
So akan ada proses di mana you akan beri tunjuk ajar to get used to the whiteboard, the lightboard, dia boleh gunakan dan sebagainya lah. So setakat ini dengan 30% kita berada di kampus, kita tak expect banyak penggunaan lah. Tapi dah ada yang guna pakai. Dan kalau ada bahan-bahan ini di dalam YouTube, kemungkinan you boleh share URL dia supaya everybody boleh dapat lihat konten tersebut. Dan again, saya nak ucapkan tahniah kepada tim Maro Polisas kerana walaupun di dalam TVT ReNORMS ni kebanyakan pensyarah dan PEL bercakap, this is the first time I think Maro juga datang ke depan untuk berkongsi. Dan saya rasa Maro-Maro di Politeknik lain juga terpanggil untuk share your best practices supaya kita sama-sama lah menjadi satu unit yang kukuh untuk memantapkan lagi PdPDT secara atas talian ini dalam talian ini tadi. So well done. So itu sahaja tuan-tuan dan puan, kita ada this the time that we have for sesi episod yang kedua ni. Kita dah dengar daripada 3 institusi politeknik, bermula daripada PIS, kita masih ada lagi, thank you so much for waiting, Puan Zulia dan juga Puan Nora, menggunakan pakai perisian yang ada dalam talian seperti PDPDT dan sebagainya untuk collaborative learning yang boleh digunakan pakai oleh, at the moment they are using it for English, tetapi I'm sure pensyarah-pensyarah lain boleh tengok dan boleh imagine perkara application itu digunakan pakai di dalam suasana khusus atau program-program yang lain. And then we have got Cik Zudin daripada Politeknik Perkongsian. Again, thank you so much Cik Zudin atas perkongsian YouTube channel tadi, apa konten-konten itulah dimuatkan. Saya tak tahu sama ada lightboard will be something that you find interesting untuk you guna untuk dibina di PD. Polisai dah kata dia boleh jual ke bagi free ke dia punya blueprint?
Tak ada masalah, kita akan share je. Sebab apa doktor? Sebab berdasarkan sebelum ni bila kita rangka atas tangan je, saya pun tak tahu bukan sebab architecture kan. Bila saya ada arkitek ni, dia tolong saya rangka satu design ni. Daripada design tu boleh dapat semua berapa besi, berapa unit, berapa ball and nut, angle dia. Jadi saya rasa macam sangat bertuah bila ada orang yang tahu dalam bidang architecture ni.
KPM pun dah datang. Dan
KPM untuk pengetahuan, College Profesional Mara dari Kuantan, Indra Mahkota pun ada datang buat lamutan kat sini dan dia pun minta nasihat pada kita dan kita telah buat satu untuk dia lah, untuk KPM, dan dia betul-betul menggunakan lah. Dia nak menggunakan di dalam, kalau boleh dia nak gunakan every class di KPM Kuantan.
Dia nak guna di setiap kelas?
Ada a few class lah yang dia akan gunakan lightboard ni. Tapi for a start dia ada buat, tak silap saya ada 1-2 macam tu lah kot. Dia ada buat. Okay.
Jadi itulah dia. Thank you very much juga daripada Polisas. Saya harap bicara-bicara daripada Politeknik, TP yang dengar juga dapat melihat bagaimana satu ekosistem yang sihat boleh diwujudkan antara Maro, pegawai e-learning dan pensyarah konten untuk menghasilkan. Kadang-kadang kalau kita bekerja berseorangan ni, dia jadi susah. You kena curate. You kena jadi curator. Dr. Azlia tadi, you kena tengok lots of content, you kena cari. That's one way of doing it. Another way is to come and to create your own content. Again, ini adalah different mode of teaching and learning kita tengok hari ini. So kita boleh guna pakai yang mana salah satu anyone yang mana suit dengan kita. Last but not least, saya nak go around again daripada PIS, PPD dan juga last kali adalah Polisas. You nak komen on anything yang you dah dengar sebelum ini dan nak kaitkan dengan apa yang you dah present. Maybe masa ni lah kita nak cross the border, nak berfikir tentang how you punya presentation dan presentation orang lain ada similarity, ada difference atau macam mana kita nak perbaiki so that kita boleh cross and learn from each other. So from PIS, saya nak jemput sama ada Puan Zilia ataupun Puan Nora as a representative. You have got about, let's say, 2 minutes to say something. Silakan.
Nora, you can go first.
Alright, sure.
Okay, so welcome. Assalamualaikum lagi sekali. Okay, bagi saya ada banyak, saya dapat belajar banyak sangat benda hari ini. Bukan sahaja dalam bidang saya sendiri, tapi juga berkaitan dengan macam mana untuk jadi seorang, contohlah dengan Cik Azruddin, macam mana untuk jadi seorang YouTuber. Bagi saya itu adalah benda yang menarik sebab mungkin kita orang as a, as an English lecturer, we don't have the I think if we want to become a YouTuber, it does help students to learn from YouTube, because I could see like there are so many language channel out there kan, yang teach language through YouTube, and it is actually really effective. Because me myself, I really enjoyed all those channels, yang I boleh belajar. So I think ideas daripada Encik Azruddin tadi, especially about OBS, I never knew about OBS, so now I think I learned something about it. Thank you so much.
Also I think saya percayalah kalau pensyarah tu bila dia design lesson untuk pelajar, tak kisahlah dia guna tool apa kan, you need to be intentional. So kalau you whatever that you do it intentionally. That means you fikir about your students, and then you kena fikir macam mana dia nak respond back to you and demonstrate apa yang dia tahu. Sebab kadang kalau kita mengajar guna tool banyak sangat tu pun takut shock sendiri kan. So we have to make sure kita introduce tool tu sesuatu tool yang dia pun boleh guna pakai, dia pun rasa seronok. Kita tahu kalau student kita seronok atau tak sebenarnya. Jadi kita kena dari segi tu kita kena ambil pengajaran lah. Maksudnya kalau kata tool ni tak berapa nak sesuai, kita akan minimize, kita akan cuba tool lain. Tapi make sure apa-apa kita buat biarlah intentional. Then of course meet the learning objective lah at the end of the day. That's all.
Alright, terima kasih. Cik Azruddin, anything from you?
Untuk saya learning something daripada dua panel awal, penggunaan method dia.
Tak dengar, can you audio.
Untuk saya belajar daripada dua panel awal, satu perkongsian yang menarik yang boleh saya review benda tu, dan maybe boleh saya buat saya punya content juga benda tu, macam menarik sebab tak ramai orang tahu benda tu. Dan berkenaan dengan yang polisas pun memang satu benda yang menarik sebab benda tu memang ada masalah yang dihadapi oleh semua pensyarah, terutama bagaimana nak attract student untuk pastikan bersama dengan kita masa kita belajar, mengajar dalam kelas. Itu paling penting. So itu kaedah yang menarik. Maybe saya boleh bincang dengan pegawai Maro PdPDT untuk hasilkan something. Sama ada yang ni untuk hasilkan yang lebih baik lah. Cuma tu lah. Doktor, minta maaf. Tadi saya ada tengok satu soalan. Bagaimana saya terlupa tadi nak terangkan macam mana saya menilai amali pelajar. Amali pelajar saya buat daripada projek yang pelajar dah hasilkan tu, dia akan email balik saya runkan balik. Itu je method yang boleh paling ringkas, paling cepat, paling mudah untuk saya buat. Maybe untuk semester akan datang saya akan suruh student present sendiri hasil amali diorang dalam rakam sendirilah supaya untuk saya nilai. Itu antara method-method yang sedang saya fikirkan lah.
Okay, Cik Azruddin, I think you punya bidang is quite mudah in the sense that pelajar dah ada alat. Dia boleh pegang alat dan software di rumah masing-masing. Jika berbanding dengan workshop di mana program-program lain kena ke makmal, kena menggunakan pakai labs yang tertentu. So in that sense you are lucky, tetapi still you have come up dengan cara di mana you akan repair dia punya instruction tu dan bagi balik dan tengok whether it runs or not. Those are the things yang kita kena recreate, cuba cari jalan. I'm sure there will be ways and means untuk kita menyelesaikan masalah. So terima kasih kepada Politeknik Perkongsian. And last, kita ke your idea baliklah kepada dua orang baru kita. Anything yang nak sampaikan?
Okey, apa yang kami lihat daripada segi daripada pihak PPD, pihak PAS dengan menggunakan various of software yang menarik, contoh macam Calculate. And then bagi pihak polisas sendiri, mungkin pihak PAS atau PD boleh menggunakan juga lightboard dengan various of colours, tulisan, drawing, memasukkan input daripada lightboard ni ke dalam Padlet and software masing-masing. InsyaAllah student saya rasa akan lagi memberikan tumpuan yang lebih fokus dalam PMP yang akan diajarkan oleh pensyarah itu sendiri.
Okey. Pada saya pula, kita faham dengan pandemik COVID ni memang banyak cabaran yang kita akan hadapi dalam, khususnya dalam PdPDT ni lah. Kalau boleh, tuan-tuan boleh rujuk pada, untuk di Politeknik, tuan-tuan boleh rujuk pada maro, dan kebanyakannya sebab tu di awal tadi saya ada ceritakan pasal maro. Sebab apa? Sebab ada yang tak tahu lagi maro ni apa sebenarnya. Jadi kat sini bukanlah saya kata, boleh kata nak promote jugalah untuk maro dan juga UIDM. Sebab saya cakap terang-terang lah, satu unit UIDM ni ialah satu unit yang banyak benda dia boleh bantu, akan bantu tuan-tuan. Benda ni sangat-sangat bagus lah maksudnya. Boleh berbincang dengan maro tuan-tuan. Jadi tak ada masalah, kita akan ni. Dan sama-sama maro pun sebenarnya, kami ni duduk di belakang pentas biasanya, di belakang ni, dan ramai orang tak tahu kewujudan maro. Jadi saya harap mungkin tuan-tuan boleh berhubung dengan maro tuan-tuan untuk berbincang dengan dia orang. Dan ramai lagi sebenarnya maro-maro lain yang hebat-hebat saya tahu. Dan juga even Dr. Nana sendiri pun salah seorang daripada maro. Tapi memang mereka ni hebat. Boleh tuan-tuan boleh rujuk. Itu sajalah saya Dr. Nana.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, terima kasih semua. Juga nak mengingatkan semua orang bapa maru kita dari sini ya, iaitu pengarah bahagian instructional dan pembelajaran digital, Cik Aziza juga pernah menjadi orang kata bapa maru lah. Ini adalah orang-orang yang lama ya, yang memulakan pergerakan maru ni tadi. So itulah dia, hopefully dalam presentation kita ini dapat membantu bukan sahaja politeknik tertentu tetapi crossover. This is the very important, mengapa kita cantumkan 3 politeknik sekali. Kerana kita bukan sahaja nak dengar apa orang kata kemajuan ataupun kelebihan satu politeknik, kita nak each learn from each other and then kita boleh tambah baik lagi. So thank you very much to all of you. Petang ni kita ada lagi session, 2 session lah. Petang ni pukul 2 kita ada session bersama KP kita Puan Zainab dan juga PKA kita Dr. Rashidi. Itu adalah sebagai opening ceremony yang mudah. Dan kita juga akan dengar the next session yang akan bermula pada pukul 3. Kita boleh dengar lah kawan-kawan kita daripada college community pula. Ini adalah politeknik. So now college community, dia orang pun ada benda yang nak dikongsi bersama dan sama-samalah keluarga besar ini, we learn from each other, right? So thank you very much again. Saya tengok sini number of attendees 1,000 lebih, very high, boleh masuk apa orang kata world records ini sebagai one of the biggest events. So Assalamualaikum, thank you PIS, thank you PBD dan thank you Polisas. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Bye. Review.